The Cincinnati Bearcats lost their first game of the season, have been red hot ever since, led by quarterback play of Brendan Sorsby. But they have easily their toughest test to date, in my opinion, having to go to Utah and face that physical Utah front seven on both sides of the ball. And it's going to be a tough test. We're going to have to see how they fare. And because that test is perceived at least to be really tough, Utah is favored by a whopping 10.5, despite having more losses than Cincinnati. Y'all's thoughts on this game?
So Bearcats won 7 in a row since the Nebraska game. Brendan Sorsby, like you said, has been unbelievable. 20 touchdowns, 1 pick. Kind of a trend. Maybe look at this to be the story. In their 7 wins, Brendan Sorsby has thrown 2 or more touchdowns every game since the Nebraska game. The Nebraska game, he had 0 passing touchdowns. So if he throws 2 touchdowns, maybe Cincinnati wins, guaranteed. Cincinnati has kept Sorsby clean. They'll have to do that again this weekend. He's been sacked just twice this season, and because of that, he's been really efficient as a runner. 420 rushing yards through 8 games. That's 53 per game, and 7 rushing touchdowns. Only 1 game really this year, though, that Cincinnati has had to fight outside of the Nebraska game, and that's Kansas. In the Kansas game, they had to lead a game-winning drive, a touchdown drive, and ends up being with 1:45 left on the road down 4 against Kansas. Other than that, they have trailed for just 6 minutes and 48 seconds since the Nebraska game. They haven't been behind. They haven't had to play from behind. And so going into this really tough environment and a really tough place to play and a really tough place to win, where really only elite teams like BYU can win, can Utah put them behind? Can Utah put Cincinnati behind and make them play a different kind of script? Because when they were behind against Nebraska, it was a different story. Sorsby, 1 pick in that game. That was his 1 pick of the season. And playing at night on the road at Utah, it can be dangerous too. Maybe he doesn't get to stay clean. Maybe they sack Sorsby a couple times. That's right there, right at the top. The one thing that I'm really, really looking at is, can Utah get ahead early, and can they make Sorsby and that Bearcat offense play from behind? I want to see that. Also, though, for Utah, on the flip side, they're really bad in their 2 ranked matchups that I actually count, at least. The BYU game, which they choked, and the Texas Tech game. They played a ranked Arizona State, but Sam Leavitt was not in that game, and Georgia Tech legend Jeff Sims had to go on the road at Utah and got blasted. But in their 2 ranked games that I actually count, they got beat down at home by Texas Tech 34-10, albeit against a backup quarterback as well. And they lost 24-21 against a true freshman quarterback wearing the number 47 in the Holy War. They're going to have to reverse that. Or they have to reverse that against Brendan Sorsby and the Cincinnati team, who some may argue are on the same level as Texas Tech and BYU, maybe even above that. We'll see next week, or I think it's actually in 3 weeks when BYU goes to Cincinnati. It's a long road for Utah to make the Big 12 championship. They're certainly going to need help, but this is the step. Cincinnati's undefeated in the Big 12. You win this game, you would have the tiebreaker if Cincinnati were to lose again, which you'd need them to lose to BYU more than likely again. Kyle Whittingham's not going to just lay down. This team's not going to quit, which is why you see the spread as it is, which I'm sure shocks a ton of people because the last, times we've seen Utah, they haven't been good. Losing to BYU and losing to Texas Tech. The sellout streak, though, continues, and Rice Eccles will be packed. It's going to be a really tough place to play. It's a true night game. Funny that it's literally a 10-hour difference, no? A 10-hour difference between the big noon kickoff against Texas Tech. Might have been 9 hours. That's insane that you can have games that are that far apart from kickoff in a season.
It's over 10 hours because 11 a.m. versus 9 p.m.
Yeah, that's diabolical. That can happen in a season. But those are the 2 things I'm looking for. Can Utah put Cincinnati behind? Because if they can't, well, obviously Cincinnati's leading the game. They'll win the game. But I think that just helped Sorsby in that offense so much. And 2, does Utah have a different step against a ranked opponent?
I think that's fair. I love the point about Cincinnati needing to start fast and get in the lead to help out their offense, but also I think it's pretty clear at this point if Utah has to put the ball in the hands of Dampier to win them a game because they're down or because it's close, it's not going to happen. That's not what they can afford to happen if they want to win this game. So if you let Cincinnati jump all over you and then you're having to drop back and pass with Dampier, it could get ugly really quick. So that's something really key to look out for. And then for Cincinnati's offense is the thing of people talk so much about how good this Utah front seven is, but they've given up almost 200 rushing yards in their 2 losses. And the Cincinnati team is a pretty good rushing team. That's really, I don't want to take away from what Sorsby is doing because it's been fantastic. But his success and their offensive success is built off of running the ball first.
Yeah, they get almost 200 rush yards a game.
Correct. And then setting up the play action pass, and they move the pocket well because he's mobile. They'll bootleg and all that, RPO, stuff like that. And they just get really fancy. Not even really just fancy, but really creative. They have so many different looks they can run at you. But it all starts with being able to run the football. If Sorsby has to drop back and pass, I'm not really sure how it would go because it's not something we have to see very often. He could deliver because he does have a big-time arm, but we just don't know. And then also for their offense, Utah loves to run man and be physical on the outside. And the transfer receiver group, Cyrus Allen, Caleb Goody. Cyrus Allen's A&M legend. He came in from A&M last year. And then Caleb Goody coming from Colorado State are their 2 leading receivers. How do they win their matchups basically on the outside and give Sorsby something to throw to? Which, once again, I think if the offense is cooking, the run game is cooking, it becomes way easier for them to get open because they don't have all of the attention. But I'm really excited to watch this offense cook. I haven't seen a ton of them live. I went back and watched the Kansas-Cincinnati game, and that was a blast. Because, for one, Jaden Daniels in Kansas is also just a very fun watch. Jalen Daniels, not Jaden, I apologize. Go Commanders. But, yeah, it was just a great game to watch. But this Cincinnati offense is just – it's so fun, simply put. But this is easily their toughest test. I'm just see how it goes. I'm kind of rambling now, but
no, you good?
I'm just excited, man. This could be a blast of a game, and I'm glad it's the nightcap
Yeah.
because all eyes will be on this
Exactly.
To
matchup.
watch it alone.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so. The nightcap does suck because we've seen guys like Christian McCaffrey not win a Heisman because he played these kind of late games, the Pac-12 after dark stuff. I love it as someone who just loves football. These 9 o'clock kickoffs are some of my favorite games. There's not a whole lot better than ending your day. If you won, you're juiced, and you just go home, you get to sit on the couch and enjoy watching someone else play, not a care in the world because you won. If you lost, you get to go home, sit on the couch, kind of drown your sorrows, be like, this kind of sucks. I'm going to go watch a team I don't care about. The very late games have a special place in my heart of just watching football because it's football. I don't know. I just love the 9 o'clock kickoffs. I love a game that ends at 1 in the morning. It feels very right, and it's just it's rare, because we get it 14 weeks out of the year.
Yeah, there's a sense of pride with it too,
Exactly.
which there probably shouldn't be, but almost like I'm a bigger football fan than you because I was up watching Cincinnati at Utah at 11 a.m. and you unfortunately have kids, and so
I felt
have to get up early in
the
the morning.
Florida
and you're
State
tired.
Stanford game.
Yeah.
So I was at your apartment, right? We were hanging out. We were playing college football because all the big games had ended, and that game wasn't. It was Florida State Stanford.
We had it on a side.
We
TV.
had it on the side TV, but then we weren't watching, and we won our natty in college football, and we were like, all right, I'm just gonna go home because it's late and I'm tired. And I get home and I see Sicko's committee. I think it was Sicko's committee tweet only real ones are still awake. And I check and realize that we missed a crazy ending to the game.
Yeah.
And I felt sad. I felt like a fake football fan. Which goes back to the pride. I felt guilty for not watching football at 2 in the morning. So that'll probably be the last late game I do not log in until the end of, because I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was say the last bit of analysis or X's and O's I have, I guess, is Utah is just going to look to run the ball a ton. It's just been their identity for years at this point, and a lot of off-tackle stuff, which is going to put a lot of stress on the second level of Cincinnati defense. And Cincinnati's defense, let me just say, they got some names. If you're trying to make an all-name team, there's multiple pools here. Matthew McDoom is a cornerback for them.
Ooh, I wish he was a safety, but we'll take cornerback.
leads the team in interceptions with 1. So I'm assuming he ties that with multiple
Yeah.
people. But Matthew McDoom's a fire
that'd
name.
be a great wide receiver name too, because every catch people just doom.
Yeah. It's just, Matthew.
I guess you could do it every time he gets a tackle, but that's just harder to keep track of than catches for a wide receiver.
Is it?
For the average football fan to like know who made the tackle, it's a lot easier to know who
If you
caught.
know your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
for
know your
Cincinnati fans, it's light work.
Yeah, I mean that is fair. And like
They probably know him by the cleats he wears,
maybe.
assuming he doesn't change his cleats every week. That's something that has given me a lot of frustration this year as A&M running backs all wear colored cleats, but they don't keep their color.
Yeah.
And so every week you're trying to be like, wait, he wore neon yellow last week, but now the other running back's neon yellow.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But Matthew McDoom, Jack Dingle is a linebacker of theirs that grades out really well against the run. Shout out Jack Dingle. And then Antoine Peak Jr. is their strong safety. Also fantastic in the run. I think he has a 90-plus run defense grade according to your PFF boys. So
Don't say you're the one using PFF for that.
you're the biggest PFF
I am
head
the
here.
biggest PFF guy here.
And you should own that.
Unapologetically.
Yeah, correct. But Jack Dingle, Matthew McDoom, Antoine Peak Jr.
All right.
Some fire names there. They're going to have big days
That is great.
against the run.
I'll go ahead and pick since I have to go first.
Yep.
As the leader of our pick'em, I'm gonna go first, and because I'm a BYU fan and we
Sure.
are a BYU podcast, I give this not a second thought, picking Cincinnati to cover, because I will not pick our rivals, the hated Utah Utes, on this podcast to cover here.
Sure. So you're going Cincinnati to
I'm gonna go
cover.
Cincinnati.
But
Don't
you
look at
picked
don't
you-
don't look at me, JP. Don't look at me weird.
I'm interested to see.
I did pick Utah to cover against BYU when they play, but that was before we really became a BYU podcast.
You're not a
I
day one.
disagree.
You're not a day one.
Literally picked them to go over their win total like 5 months ago when y'all picked them to go under.
Do
So
you have it for sure you went under?
I remember.
Okay. I'm gonna take Cincinnati to cover. I'm not sure they win. It's just Cincinnati really has not played a team that profiles like Utah in a while. Cincinnati or Nebraska kind of has that defense, but not even really. So it's kind of hard to know what I'm going to get from Cincinnati. But I know what I'm going to get from Utah, and I don't love that offense. Especially I don't love that offense to win a blowout. And since the spread's 10.5, I feel very comfortable taking Cincinnati to cover.
Yeah, even if Utah's up by 7 or 10 with a quarter and a half to go, I could see them running the ball and chewing up like 8 to 11 minutes of clock, something like that.
Yeah.
And still only being up by 10 after that. Like that's that offense could just chew clock, which keeps the scoring margin closer.
Sure. JP?
Do I damage control or do I swing for the fences?
Wait,
Why don't you just follow your heart or
Yeah.
your brain? What your brain, aside from getting a leg up on us or damage controlling, who you truly think is going to cover? What do you have?
Utah's winning and covering.
Okay.
Vegas knows is one of my reasons.
But the spread moved from 9.5 to 10.5. Does that not scare you at all? As someone
No.
that likes, would prefer it to be at 9.5.
No, I think they win by 11
Okay.
plus.
okay, that makes a lot more sense than winning by 11.
I just don't think they win by 10 plus, but I think I'll take 11 plus all day. I think the crowd's going to be electric. I think that'll play a big part in this game. I think of Cincinnati, a body clock is going to be a 9 p.m. body clock kick for them. How well do they manage that? And then I think a big part of it is Cincinnati hasn't played from behind and hasn't played in this kind of road environment. I don't know. We haven't seen them tested in that. And I just trust Utah in this spot more than I trust Cincinnati. I still think there are weeks that when things are rolling and they have the lead and everything's going, that Devon Dampier in this offense is really tough to stop. So give me the Utes to win a game against Cincinnati. Congrats to them.
Wow. And you call yourself a BYU guy.
You about to say you're really going to pick our biggest rival to cover and
Yes,
win.
I am.
That's just absurd. Fake fan. Insane.